What's happening, Internet? It's your boy here with another hot Elmo take on everything. So,
It's the fucking Elmo show.
it's the NFTGL redraft. Every so many seasons, in this case 4, we redraft. We start all over and we pick new teams, and every so often we make more significant changes to our rules. This offseason, we made a big one. For the first time in league history, we are unlocking all 30 teams in the league, the entire AFC, to be included in our draft and usable in our league. In order to do that, I sat down and came up with a tiered ranking list for the entire game. And that's what we elected to go with, to use, which is very exciting. You're excited, I can tell. Anyway, this is the rankings. Boop. Boop. Tier 1, San Francisco and Dallas. Bar none, they are far and away above everybody else. I thought about doing like a full breakdown with like S tier and A rank, whatever. I don't have time for that. So you guys get this ghetto-ass image that I threw together out of Excel. It's very exciting. Tier 2, better than all the other teams, but definitely a step down from San Francisco and Dallas, is Denver and Miami. Tier 3, there's a lot more teams. Washington, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Cleveland, Kansas City, Seattle, they're all right there. Tier 4, Philadelphia, New Orleans, and Houston. And basically those teams are viewed kind of like they're a little better than the Tier 5 teams, but definitely not as good as the Tier 3 teams. So they got, bumped up a little bit. Tier 5 is what you can kind of view as largely the bread and butter of the best NFTGL teams in all of our previous seasons. The Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Carolina Panthers. The Falcons, of course, obviously being the hardest to use of those teams, as they never really had a ton of success winning. Tier 6 is where you drop to the rest of the NFTGL teams and the few AFC teams that kind of get mixed in there. And that's New England, Indianapolis, San Diego, and Jacksonville, mixed in with Minnesota, St. Louis, Detroit, and Green Bay. Tier 7 are the teams that they're just awful. And when I say awful, every team in this game is functional, is usable. They all have either roster issues or playbook issues or something outside of, maybe San Francisco and Dallas's base rosters. Arizona's base offense is putrid. Their defense is really good. As you can see, I used a nerfed version of their base defense the last 4 seasons and had a decent amount of success with them. And then you have the Jets and the Giants, who, outside of the 2 Super Bowl wins by Eli, teams that have sucked basically forever. So the Giants are just kind of all around bad. They have decent players in key positions, but everything behind those is just crap. They've got a decent safety, they've got linebackers, whatever. The Jets are kind of in the same boat. It's a lot of really bad role players and a handful of decent guys that are definitely man usable and whatever. So going into the draft, and I'll just jump right in. The first pick in the draft is Coach Lou, and the way the tier system works is everybody defaults to a tier 4 or lower draft position, and then based on your performance over time in the league, your draft position either lowers to a lower tier if you've won Man Bowls, and increases to a higher tier if you've missed the playoffs. So Coach Lou came in. He was one of 3 coaches that were eligible for Tier 2, and he was the first one to pick. However, he elected to drop down to Tier 3 and take the Pittsburgh Steelers, which gave him, and by rule, you get a free auto trade upgrade within our league rule limits. So he took the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then no one ends up drafting Arizona. I'm sorry to say. So he was able to trade away Greg Lloyd for Seth Joyner, making what is already the best defense in the game even better. Next in the draft, we had Steve Smutnik. Strike his last name. You didn't hear that. Steve elected to go with the Denver Broncos. And then after him, we had Joel. Joel was also a Tier 2 coach, and he elected to take the Miami Dolphins. So neither of them did drop downs. After that, we moved down to Dan, Coach Dan, everybody's favorite coach. And he was Tier 3 eligible, and he elected to go with the Oakland Raiders. And then Coach Jared was Tier 3, and he elected to take the Seattle Seahawks. After Jared was Coach Bill, from you might remember him from such films as St. Elmo's Fuck Bill, Fuck Bill, Fuck Bill. You might remember that. If you don't, I'm sorry. Anyway, Coach Bill elected to go with the San Diego Chargers. He was a tier 5 coach, but he elected to drop down to San Diego, which makes a lot of sense. San Diego comes with an already really good passing quarterback, running back in Natron Means, some decent receivers, and obviously Junior Seau, Leslie O'Neal, and some decent, it's a really solid team. A big part of the reason that they fall into Tier 6 is because depth-wise they're not great, and playbook-wise they're not very good. So it really kind of limits what they're capable of. Fortunately, they have star players in a lot of places, so they're, but that's what you get in Tier 6. You get a bunch of stars or more decent players than you would get in Tier 7, and in some cases better playbooks. In San Diego's case, their playbooks are kind of limited. Anyway, next, our reigning champion, Coach Jordan. He was relegated, like myself, to Tier 7 only. And though he is the reigning champion, our redrafts are ordered based on success over time, not just the last season. So Coach Jordan picked second to last and took the New York Jets. And then coming in dead last, I was only allowed to take the New York Giants because I had Arizona in the last iteration of our season, of our league. So I couldn't take the Arizona Cardinals at all, because you're not allowed to have the same team 2 iterations in a row. So I've got the New York Giants. Now, after we had done that, we had 2 coaches two people reach out to us, inquiring about joining our league, and we happened to have 2 vacancies. So we had 2 people sign up that wanted to join us, both relatively close proximity, and one of the players elected to take the New Orleans Saints. The other coach elected to take the Philadelphia Eagles. Like we like to say in the league, we don't know if these people are going to show up until they actually show up, because new coaches sometimes, can't do it for whatever reason, and it just doesn't work out for them. So we'll see what happens in the coming season. But that's the redraft. That was it. Wow, I went through that way faster than I expected. And that is our tier system. I was going to do some kind of thing where I got rid of the tier system and threw it down in the corner here and showed you whatever. What I will give you as a teaser is our upcoming schedule. We play in a few weeks, 3 weeks, in a couple of days is when we kick off. This is what our schedule is going to look like. Right now, the New Orleans coach has already told us that he's probably not going to be able to make it. The door's open for him if he can do it. If he can't, he can't. The Philadelphia Eagles coach, a guy goes by the name of JP the Bowler, is expected to show up. He seems pretty jazzed for it. So you got season opener, Joel and the Miami Dolphins versus Bill and the San Diego Chargers, followed up by Dan and the Raiders versus Jordan and the Jets, and then Lou and the Steelers versus Jared and the Seahawks, and then I get the pleasure of playing the computer in week 1, which I guess I'm fine with. And then you got Steve versus JP. So it should be some good games. Joel versus Bill could be a really good game. Yeah. So, and then as you go through, this is a custom schedule that was created so that we could play with 9 coaches across 3 different divisions in the AFC. So as you go through it, you'll see if you're super familiar with the way the schedule is broken down in the game. Normally buys start in week 4. In this case, things were moved around to increase the value of buys. So week 4, there are no buys. Week 5, there are no buys. Also unusual. And the reason you'll see that is because there are buys later in the season for the computer and for some of the man players, specifically targeted in our windows where we get to actually sleep for a little bit. So week 6, we finally get our first bye. Then week 7, we get a bunch. Week 8, week 9, 10, and then weeks 11 and 12, none. And then week 13 and 14, we get some, 15. And those are all to accommodate sleeping for everybody. And then week 16 and 17, we have a bunch of man games to close out our season. And we have custom seasons broken down for a bunch of different formats now, which is going to be a lot of fun. So for you guys in the league, if you haven't seen these yet, this is what should be the schedule, unless someone else bails or Alva ends up coming through and making it. So Alva being our 10th coach, who may not, or our new interim coach. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're super excited like I am and Joel is. And that might be it. That might be everyone that's excited. I assume Vincent's excited. Vincent's always excited for the NFTGL. But he can't come play. So, yeah. Happy trails or some shit. And we'll see you guys in a few weeks. I'll probably see you sooner. I think I'm going to be live streaming some practice on Twitch. This video, however, is just going on YouTube. Merry Christmas.